Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 873. And in today's episode, we're talking about how to set goals and get them by using the unconscious mind. You see, if you can utilize the unconscious mind, you will be able to get immensely powerful results, because it means you're not just consciously pushing through in trying to get your goal and your outcome. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And because I deal with the unconscious mind, the next episode is going to be a hypnosis session around this. And then if you're a subscriber to the app, and if you're not, you can go to freehypnosis.app, you'll be getting a bonus sleep version of that hypnosis session. So get goals unconsciously. Set them, get them in the most real, powerful way. In other words, all while you sleep. So be sure to be a subscriber. Also, you get an ad-free version of this episode. That means you don't get annoying ads which support the show. Also, on top of that, you get the opportunity to have morning meditations, 4-hour sleep sessions, day and night of all my hypnosis sessions. I'm going back to record more tracks in the very, very near future. So you get access to all of those. In fact, you actually get these episodes about a week or so earlier when you're a subscriber. And it's either a monthly or yearly, and it's super, super small in terms of what you're going to get back. I firmly believe that, and your development, I think, should be a priority to get you where you want to be. So with that, let's get into more of the finer details of this episode. So I want us to go ahead and think about it, touching upon what I said right in the beginning, where we can consciously try to want our goal, force upon it. But if your unconscious mind is in a form of resistance, in other words, it's dragging its heels in the ground, you're going to be always being pulled back. You're going to feel that incongruency. And those hills kind of dragging you back could come in the form of anxiety, fear, worry, the imposter syndrome, scarcity, fear of failure, fear of not achieving, fear of success, of actually getting the goal. All of those things, your unconscious mind is running. So we want to make sure as much as possible that we are congruent, not only consciously, but also unconsciously. And also on top of that, I want us to think about how we formulate our goals. Now, if I were to ask you, if you could have one goal to come into existence in the most profound known and unknown ways, where it just kind of magically appeared, what kind of goal would you really want? Like, what would that be for you personally? Would it be financial? Would it be career? Would it be a relationship? Would it be something around your health? Really consider, if you think about a goal, because hey, that's what we're talking about, and that's what the hypnosis session will be like in the next episode. Consider that goal and how you associate with it. Now, as you think about that goal, notice if there is any form of resistance. I mean, do you feel magnetically and abundantly positive about the goal heading your way, or how you feel about it? Do you have any sense of doubt or scarcity? Just try it on. Because if you do, we then know that there's some resistance there. And on top of that, go ahead and think about the goal itself. Just kind of play it in your mind's eye. What is that goal? How do you want it to come across? How do you want it to come into your life? Like, you want it on your terms, right? You don't want to just go, well, I want more money. Because more money is just an extra dollar, a penny, a pound, a euro, whatever currency we're in, if you're just saying to the world, yourself, the universe, to God, or anything else, you want more money, it is so ambiguous, so abstract, that how you ever meant to get that, even a relationship, I want a good relationship, it is so generalized. And we tend to do that a lot, generalize things. So we generalize in terms of anxiety and fear. We feel anxious and we put it into everything. We feel fear and we kind of goes into all areas of our life or all these different scenarios. So we generalize all the time, which is a generalization word. It always happens. All. Never. All of those types of words we tend to kind of generalize in our linguistics throughout verbally, but also on the inside, in other words, like how you speak and how you think about yourself. So when you think of your goal and dream, how specific is it? And I'll tell you why we need to be specific, because you're sending so many mixed signals in this general way. Like I said, want more money, well, get that dollar, or someone gives you a dollar, then you've fulfilled that goal and your unconscious mind's like, I'm done, nothing else to do. So be as specific as you possibly can. And I'm going to show you that we want to specify, and then we want to get back into generalization soon. We just don't want to start with generalizations. We want to be able to start by specifying exactly what you want. Exactly, as crystal clear as possible. Even if you can't do it crystal clear, I would write it down. For example, you can, if you have the ability to do so right now. So in other words, if you're not driving, it won't be hypnosis, but it's nice to kind of close your eyes. I want you to think about that goal. So if you have closed your eyes, just think about that goal. Think about what specifically you want. Consider where you are now in relation to that goal, right? How far do we feel like we're off? Whether it be in time, whether it be in distance, or even energy, like how you associate it. Think about where you are in relation to your goal. Now, if you were to step inside that goal, that outcome, if you were to see what you'd be seeing, hearing what you're hearing, feeling what you're feeling, as if it were a reality, how does that feel? You see, sometimes it might not be the thing that we really want. We like try it on. Have you ever gone and got a goal and realized, actually, I didn't quite want it that way? So it's important to try on the goal. And also by trying it on, we do tap into the assumption, like if we feel it most of the time, we're telling our unconscious mind, this is what we want. So it's a good little thing to do from time to time. But as you just try it on right now, how does it feel having achieved it? What kind of shows up? Can you make it compelling, so big and bright, louder, and wrap those feelings around you that you go, yes, I want this. I want this. And then if you step outside of that picture and just see yourself in it, do you look okay? Like, it's good to be associated, but then dissociate to really figure out, yeah, this is exactly what I want. Now, consider what the goal will get you beyond the goal itself. Right? What's it going to get you in the positive and also the negative? So just think about the positive at first. When you think about that goal in mind, what is it going to give you that is positive? And there's going to be many things. So in other words, to break it down, is it going to have a good positive result on your health, on your relationship, on your career or business or money, even spiritually or whatever your faith may be? Does that goal give you anything that supports it even bigger, like all the reasons beyond the goal itself? Now, the other important one, which I said, was what might you lose if you get this goal? What might you lose? You see, every goal you have, there will be a negative consequence. Like if you lose weight, you're going to buy new clothes. Now, it seems trivial, but if you have resistance of the potential negative downfall of a goal, your unconscious mind's going to stop you. So it's important to be very clear on any form of negative buyback by achieving the goal. Like for another example, and you still keep your eyes closed if you wish here, because we're just trying it on and having examples. But if, say, someone was so depressed that they couldn't work, well, and people were looking after them all the time, friends and family, or the government or the state is supporting that person financially, well, if you let go of depression, it may mean you won't be getting that assistance from the state or the government. It may mean that your family relationships or friendships will change because they're not supporting you as much. It will mean that you've got to get a job or a career. Like, there's lots of things which have a so-called negative consequence. And they're not necessarily negative, but at an unconscious level, you may be perceiving them as negative, and therefore it creates resistance. So we want to shine a light on those negative consequences so you can just be at peace with them. Because you know that big goal and dream that you have is so much more important that you either come up with solutions to those negative consequences or you just deal with them. Be at peace with paying more tax. Be at peace with buying those new clothes. Be at peace that those relationships will change. And you be at peace getting a career and make it like a real wonderful thing. So you want to just become consciously aware of the great things beyond the goal itself, and also the negative things that you can then choose to solve. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is, where do you want it in your life? Like, is it in a certain area? Does it actually work with other areas of your life? Like, when do you want it? Because if you say you want it maybe tomorrow, yet in reality it takes time beyond that one day, then you'll be putting so much intensity into it that it will just stress us out. So think about it in a bit of, like they say, like the SMART goals. Just kind of consider, where do you want it? How do you want it? When do you want it? With whom do you want it? You see, now you're trying to get this very clear understanding of the goal. And when you do that, you got to then ask yourself, well, are you going to be the one who gets you there? Do you need help or assistance? Is it something that you've achieved before that you can replicate, even if it's in a slightly different area? Do you need to model someone? Do you need to learn a strategy to get there? Are there things you need to give up what you're presently doing to become the person that you want to become? Am I able to take responsibility for the whole goal in its entirety? If I don't have to rely that the sun's coming up tomorrow, or this person has to be there to support me on that journey. Just really weigh it up. When, why, how, what if, with whom, all of those kind of statements. Because when you do, now you're putting it into like a context, a frame, a perception of what has to happen. Now, when you think about this goal, what happens now? How do you associate it? Is it any different? You see, and you can open your eyes here, but ultimately, usually we generalize and just go, well, I want more money. Well, now we've got the specific, like what specifically do you want about money? We've said about trying it on if it's actually going to help us and like really feel good for us. We became aware of any negative consequences and future ones which are good or bad. We've got the idea of where we want it, with whom we want it, how it has an effect, what kind of things we need to give up to be the person that we want to be. You've got to try that on as crystal clear as possible, because even if you write this stuff down, which I really recommend, because you're kind of tapping into the neurological side of things. But when you do write it down, you're going to go from that generalized I want money to specifically the amount, if you're choosing money, to where you want it, how much you want it, how is it going to have an effect, all these things. Same thing with relationship. I want a relationship. Well, now I want a relationship like this. This is how I want it to be. These are the values that I want within a relationship. Here's what I don't want in a relationship. This was what I might lose, but like maybe a bit of independence, and be at peace with it. You're now telling your unconscious mind specifically, not just vaguely, that this is exactly what I want. And then it'll also give you some ideas of what is the resistance around it. What is the resistance around any goal? And then you can go ahead and start to let it go. Whether you use the Hypnosis app to let go of that resistance, you have that choice to be able to work with your unconscious mind. After all, it's only trying to protect you. If you're feeling resistance about the goal itself, it is trying to protect you because something's not quite fitting right or feeling right within the psyche of the unconscious mind. So trying these things on, understanding and getting clarity, you're then able to get the unconscious mind on board because you're dealing with the resistance that it had. You're almost telling it that I'm okay with this bit of negative consequence. There's exactly what I want. There's how I want it to happen. You are the goal setter and your unconscious mind's the goal getter. But if you're setting generalized goals, you're then going to get general results. And you don't want just general results. You want exactly what you want and how you want it. Now, of course, it's not only about being clear. You've got to make a conscious decision. Like I said in one of the last questions, is there anything that you need to give up? Do you need to be a different person from who you already are? Look in the mirror and go, am I making the right decisions, the actions, the steps that is on me to do? Like, I've got to make sure I just don't keep it in my mind. And I talk about that sometimes when it comes to like on one axis, you've got like your thinking. On the other axis, or axis, I always get that wrong, whichever one it is, you've got the doing. Like, you can have all the positive thoughts, but if you're not doing anything, how are you ever meant to get there? If you're just doing things without the positive thinking, the mindset, well, you're going to just start to feel like a failure because it won't be working. You feel failure or fear of failure. All of those things, we're not enough. So you need to make sure that you want to be like ideally most of the time, a good 7 to a 10 out of 10, knowing it will vary depending on what day it is or how we're feeling, but a 10 out of 10 as a massive cool one on not just thinking, but what you're doing, taking that massive and inspired action. That's where you got to look in the mirror sometime. Are you doing the things that you should be doing to get that goal? Are we expecting it just to happen and not do the work? I would love you to like invite your own conscious mind to go, actually, I'm wanting, willing, and able to do the work. That I'm just ready to do the work. Whether it be half hour every day, an hour every day, if you want that goal enough, then you're going to have to put the time into it. You can't expect to get a great body if you're not eating healthy, you're not working out. It's just a reality, right? Like, there are things and actions that you've got to do, choices, but you go, well, I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to do this instead. I'm not going to go on social media or go out for that meal because I'm going to focus on this project of being me, or the career, or the business, the money, whatever it is. Are you carving out enough time? Are you willing to give up some of the things you presently enjoy indulging in for a greater good, because that goal and outcome is going to really transform your life? So near the beginning of this episode, when we kind of went through that little process of specifying what you want, then we can bring it back to generalizations, because I want you to think about the feelings you get from that goal now. Like, if you were to achieve it, what would that feeling be like? What is the overriding feeling that you'd be getting from that goal? Is it gratitude? Is it achievement? Is it abundance? Is it freedom? Is it self-certainty? Is it love? Like, what is that emotion or emotions? You might have more than one, but what does the goal really give you? Because we took it from, maybe as an example, I just want money, into now really specific. How much money? Could be $1 million, and all the things it will give you: contribute to charity, help family and friends, go on vacations, have a legacy, have security. Like, you really specified exactly what that goal is. Now think about the feelings it will give you. Because then, rather just only thinking about the specifics, I want you to, because we've got those on paper now, we've really thought about it in a specific way, we want to fall back into the feeling of having achieved it. And I always say this when it comes to getting what you want. You have to operate most of the time to the energetic match to the goal that you want. In other words, if that goal, that overriding one beautiful emotion was love, well, on a daily practice, the feeling of love. Like, whether it be helping strangers, whether it be talking, whether it be with your pets, whether it be reading, if that's what you love doing. Like, you want to be able to tap into that energetic pattern, because then your unconscious mind is going to look for more of the same. Unfortunately, we're usually looking more of the same in scarcity and doubt. When's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? It trips you up, because when and how, you don't know. So therefore, you get scarcity. So put that to one side. Focus on the feeling it will give you having achieved it. And then your job is to operate from that feeling, where you do your very best in radiating that feeling. Just continue to radiate in any way that you can. It could be through music, it could be from inspirational movies, it could be from podcasts, it could be from the hypnosis, it could be from journaling, it could be anything. Going for a walk or a run in nature. Like, it could be literally anything. Whatever that behavior or the doingness that you do beyond the actual work of doing and getting what you want, operate from that intentional energy. Because then you become that energetic frequency that you're almost like tuning into the radio station of your desire. You're not so general that you're getting all of the sounds and all of the radio stations at once. You're not tuning into scarcity and doubt and the radio station you really dislike. You're now tuned in to the exact radio station, which is the energetic match of that feeling. And that means it creates more congruency, because you're saying, I don't need this fear. I don't need this scarcity. I'm good as it is. I want the goal, but I'm good. I'm getting better. And that means whatever you desire, by operating that energetic match, the thing is desiring you to. So whatever you want wants you to. We just got to be very conscious of what we're desiring unconsciously and consciously, and what we're wanting. Like I said, we're wanting the how and the when we don't know, and it creates anxiety, and that means we spiral out of control. But if you tap into where it be the love, the gratitude, the freedom, the abundance, whatever that feeling is for you, you are getting everything into that energetic frequency. And I don't mind if you don't believe in things like the law of attraction or esoteric kind of views, or even if you're really good into just biology, like your brain is geared to look for more of the same. It just is wired that way. So whatever kind of realm we think about, whether it be psychotherapy or psychology, whether it be the side when it comes to the spiritual or religious or the esoteric, whatever it is, it still matches that same fundamental principle that your mind is looking for information, and depending on the quality of that information, will it begin to find more of the same. It's just data processing. So really kind of consider that. What exactly do you want specifically? What is the feeling it will give you? And then to operate from that feeling most of the time whilst doing the real work. Like, learn to love doing work. You see, when I first became a hypnotherapist, I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know how to make money, to live and be a practitioner. So I had to, and I didn't love it, but I had to learn to love how to run a business. Like, how can I reach so many people and help them while still being financially rewarded? I had to figure that out. I had to invest a ton of money to do that, but I was like so dedicated that I wanted to help more people. Like, I think I had a brief look this morning or yesterday, but I think we're almost at around 16 million views and downloads. Almost 2.5 million views on just YouTube, and the rest on the podcast. Goodness knows what my app does in itself. But I really wanted to know how to do that. So I started to do the work. I promise you, be so consistent that results are impossible to be ignored. That was my mantra in retrospect, because I only thought about that being so consistent where I've been doing like live streaming over the last couple of years. I've just been trying to be so consistent, showing up 3 times per week, just going live, and then putting the time to organize and all those things. I wanted to be so consistent that the results are impossible to be ignored. And they may not be huge views compared to other people. And I don't need to compare myself to others. I just want to compare myself to where I was yesterday from last month. And I want you to do that too. You see, when you compare to other people's success, I want you to model them, of course, because that's what learning about business for me, or learning for you to get your success and your outcome, that's vitally important. But don't compare your present self to other people ahead of you. Model them. Compare yourself from where you were yesterday. Did you do the work and learn to eventually enjoy it? Are you just working upon yourself and radiating that feeling, feeling that feeling as much as possible to become that energetic match? When you do the things that I've said, I firmly believe, and of course, it's a given, that to do the release of the limiting beliefs, if that is an issue, like not good enough, not worthy, not capable, like you got to clear those out. That's fundamental. And I say that all the time on my episodes. Like, I don't want to give you advice, go, well, this is going to be the one solution, when we ignore one of the core aspects. So that's why I always bring it up, to work on what is the core limiting thing as a given. But if you want to be able to get what you want, following those steps, those ideas, and it doesn't take long, is going to get your conscious mind and your unconscious mind in a congruent alignment to get more of the same of what you want, rather what you don't want. And also the how. I actually say this in my main program, forget about the how. I'm the how. I'll help you get there. But focus on what you want specifically, why you want it, and why you're worth it. They're the 3 big principles I work and try to live by. What do I want? Why do I want it? And why I'm worth it? And then those subsections of those principles, like getting clear is part of it, right? Resolving the limiting beliefs is really understanding your worth. And the how just appears and the crazy thing is, in known and unknown ways. Expect miracles, and they will happen. Expect pain, and guess what? It's going to happen. So we need to expect more different results. And I think the start is that feeling. Obviously the clarity of, like I said, but that the real generating a result is tapping into the feeling of the goal. And that means you'll be that energetically aligned with the goal within itself, and it will start looking out for you in the most wonderful, beautiful way, as much as you are doing the work to find it. It's like you're a lighthouse, and that goal and that ship of that goal is just you're guiding it to where it needs to be. You're making it aware, and you're going to get exactly what you want, but it needs to see your light in order to do that, to avoid any rocky shores. You need to be the light to that goal and that outcome. As I said, watch out for the next episode, because that's going to be just like the day hypnosis session. And of course, if you want the sleep version, which will be coming out the next day, so every week we do bonus sleep sessions of every free day session. You can become a subscriber on the app. It's a small monthly fee or a yearly to be a subscriber. You get an ad-free experience. You get all the audios, the bonus ones every single week, but also the whole library, the custom create your custom hypnosis sessions in day and night form, 4-hour hypnosis sessions. We got like one on the money mind. Like if you can just kind of listen to that and just transform, then why not, right? In fact, I will let you know one thing. I just saw this to Dave this morning. I'm going to read this out to you very, very quickly. So this person says, so not only has Joseph Recordings gotten me sober for 2 months after 43 years of heavy drinking, 2 people called me today offering me work. 2 people looked me up and offered me management positions. One is full-time, one is part-time. I have to admit, I'm a little freaked out. How did these happen just from listening to your recordings? ? I listened to the sobriety one on repeat for 2 months. There's the 4-hour sleep one. So for 2 months straight, and after 43 years of heavy and chronic alcoholism, I knew it would take time. I listened continually on the app for 2 months, and now I'm sober for 2 months. I only listened to this one, which is the Manifesting Abundance, which I'm just reading out there. I didn't say that because that's just the comment. I only listened to that one for a few days, and then bingo. And then therefore they're referring to those 2 job positions. And they say, I can't thank you enough. So remember, if people get those results, why not you? Why not? It starts to go, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to do what has to be done. So once again, that is being a subscriber of the app. You'll get access to all of those tracks, and then you can expect miracles, not only just consciously, but unconsciously too. So that's freehypnosis.app if you haven't got it. If you have got it, go ahead and just upgrade your account to be able to get all the goodness. And thank you for writing those words as well. I really genuinely appreciate it. That makes me go, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So with that, my friends, I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode, which will be the hypnosis session, and then the bonus one for those who are subscribers. Many thanks and goodbye.